Hey, what is up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. It's Jeff from Jeff Needs Sports. Welcome to my brand new, the world premiere, if you will, the Buckeye Remix. It's my new exclusive Buckeye show that I'm going to start doing as part of the Off the Ball Network. And had a mishap. My partner, my friend Mo Murphy from UpNFlamz was going to join me tonight, and we were going to do the season preview. He's a huge Buckeye fan. I had some personal things come up that I'm not going to talk about, but any thoughts, things like that, go his way. Be really appreciated. But I'm going to push on with the show. I talked to him. He's in good spirits. Gave me the thumbs up. So yeah, I'm going to do this. I won't have the energy that he does, but I'm going to try. So first of all, this is kind of new, so I'm posting this in a few different places, especially the Buckeye Nation group that I'm part of, the Derek Climate Runs. He was nice enough to let me be on there. And so what this isn't I come at it from a fan of someone who loves the Buckeyes, someone who watches them every week, someone who's passionate about them, just like a lot of you are. But I'm not. This isn't an analyst program. I'm by no means going to break down the 2024 high school class coming in. I'm not a draft. I'm not an NFL draft expert. Basically, what I'm going to do every week is I'm going to watch the games intently, just like most of y'all. And then the next day, I'm going to tell you what I thought and some takeaways and some, hopefully I have some fun, like that. We've, as Ohio State fans, we've obviously got a really good team coming. It should be an enjoyable year, we hope. And we're going to have a little fun every, Sunday. But so tonight was my season preview. So we're going to go down, through some things that just a general overview of it. I have like my biggest questions for the team, my biggest kind of questions / concerns. I have the biggest weaknesses that I see, if you can call a team like this having weaknesses. The biggest strengths, which are a lot. Maybe who are some of the next guys coming up that I honestly don't know about. Any of you chime in, any nominees for guys coming up that nobody's heard of yet that are going to be stars. We know they're out there. We know probably some of the best players on the field. We don't even know who their name is yet. So yeah, that's how I'm coming at it. It's just another version of Jeff Needs Sports and something fun I've always wanted to do. Working with the guys from the Off the Ball Network. Everything's been going great. We started the network a couple months ago. Chris LeBron's the president, and he headed that up. We got a great crew of guys putting out really good content right now. Things really pick up steam every day. So this is kind of leaning towards part of that. Worked with Jay Stevens a little bit this summer, talked to him. He'd host the Locked On Buckeyes for the Locked On Sports Network. He's doing a great job, friend of mine. So he kind of encouraged me a little bit and, gave me some of the push I needed to do this. And so, so that's just a little bit about me. Anybody who hasn't seen my show or listened to my show, this will be an audio podcast coming out every week on Jeff Needs Sports. If you want to catch the audio version, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to try and do some of my sound bites like I did last year with the Tuesday Aftermath and just have a good time with it. That's like I said, I'm a fan. I just want to watch the game. I want to enjoy it. I want to discuss it just like we all do on Facebook, Twitter, social media all day long when the Buckeyes are playing. And so I just want to kind of bring that, to you it'll be a live feed. And then, of course, we'll do the audio podcast. So yeah, let's get started here. We're gonna have a good time. By the way, any questions about the Buckeyes, any comments, anything you guys have, throw them at me. I'm more than happy to talk about them. I'm pretty excited about this, honestly. So first of all, we'll start with my biggest question marks. We'll start. Yeah, it's good to see you, Steven. Thanks for Steven from Breaking the Game. One of my off the ball partners out there checking in. Great guy. So my biggest questions, and I was hard on them all last year. It's been a few years of this, and I don't think I'm the only one. It's the linebackers again. It's so tough because these guys they really did show up towards the end of the year, but they get exposed. I'm trying to do this show as polite as I can without sounding, like a jerk. But I think they get exposed a little bit, when they run into these teams that have the same manpower as Ohio State does. They had some trouble in coverage last year, with Clemson. Etienne was obviously a problem. There's a speed thing. I mean, these guys are tough. Borland, Weber. We know how tough they are. They're great out the line of scrimmage, and there's a place for that. But once again, we're Buckeyes. We have aspirations for we consider ourselves a playoff team. I don't think there's any question about that. We'll get to that later, but I mean that just goes without saying. So I compare all these, all of our positions, I look at them based against Alabama and Clemson and whoever else is in the mix. So not, no, I'm not comparing them to the rest of the Big Ten. So I have concerns. I know they moved Weber over. Um, I like Baron Browning a lot, so that makes me feel better. Um, it's once again, I'm going to watch these games and react. I mean, I'm not going to. I would have no idea what these guys have done all summer. I don't want to question anybody's work ethic or anything, but you know, I would say if I had a concern, it's that. And then if you want to go one step back, replacing the safeties again. I know Proctor's back. He was his stock was up and down last year. He had a few really nice plays and then had some not so. But that's part of being young. You're a college football player. You're young. That's going to happen. I don't expect these guys to be polished veterans, when they come out of the womb. So, but I always have concerns because right now, safety play, your safeties are basically they're cornerbacks too. They're the traditional safety. We all know it's a moot point. They're gone. So, when I say there are questions or concerns, it's just because we haven't seen them play yet. When you lose, it feels like we lose an NFL secondary every year with Fuller and Jeff Okudah, a huge loss. So now we got Wade is going to be a full time on the outside now. I think that guy's going to be a really good pro, probably a slot corner or safety, and I mean as a compliment. Like I really think the position he excelled at last year with Okudah, being out there, I think is where Wade is meant to play. Now he's going to be more than good, cornerback. We know that. I don't know if he's a great outside corner. The straight line speed's a little down, but once again, he's a big, tough guy. Obviously smart and aggressive. He reminds me more of if we had to remind him, maybe like Tyrann Mathieu or somebody, an aggressive, more downhill, safety, slot safety. So, but yeah. But I mean, I love the guy. I'm glad he came back. I'm glad he gets to play. That's the most important thing. Let's just put it out there. I'm glad all these kids get to play. And I call them kids because I'm getting old. When they're younger than my son, like I can call them kids. But that's just my questions, and that's what I'll be staring at. And we all know that there's somebody in that secondary that's going to be a first round NFL talent that I may not know the name of yet. Fully admit that. I'm not, like, once again, I'm not a draft expert. I watch the games and I learn, and that's part of what I love about Ohio State is I might not know how to spell a guy's name when the season starts, and by the end of it, he's my favorite player. So, yeah, somebody from off the ball, Mo had a personal issue, Chris. He couldn't make it tonight, but I've talked to him and he's he's in good spirits. So I won't get too personal here on the show. So yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. So we always have concerns about secondary when you're losing NFL talent every year. These kids stay 2 or 3 years, then they're gone. So it does make it tough. So now biggest weaknesses, it's kind of the same thing. I really think you got to find a weakness on this team. We know how good the offense is. Defensive line is going to be good. These guys are going to move around. Harrison and those guys, they're going to be really good. I don't know if there's a Chase Young, but I don't know if you have to have a Chase Young every year. Most teams don't. But I think you can have 4 or 5 crew of really, really good defensive linemen and do a great job and bother people. And they did last year. They're really well done. Larry Johnson, what he's done since he's been in Ohio State is just amazing. Still have. I worry about our linebackers in coverage, and that's a thing. We've seen some of our biggest weaknesses over the years have been, if we want to go back to, we don't lose. I say we a lot on the show because I'm allowed. It was born in my blood, so I know it's not a professional sports thing to do, but I'm going to do it. We all know that there's not a ton of losses every decade for Ohio State, so you can really remember them. But the slots chewed us up a little bit. You think of Rondell Moore, and some of the straight line stuff. Even Jonathan Taylor got off a little bit. It just sometimes speed up the middle, miscommunication up the middle can be a bit of an Achilles heel. But we're also talking about an undefeated team last year until the last game of the year, so we're really picking nits here. I'm sure if Mo was here, he would kill me for it. But he will be on the show, and he's going to be fun, I think. So yeah, yeah. So weaknesses, that's something I look at. I don't. I mean, it's hard when you lose, NFL running back. Well, with Master G, wait, Sermon, I believe. I'm sorry, I might have said his name wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Sermon. I get confused because I always want to call him Leroy Selman because once again, I'm really old. So I apologize for that. But um, just kind of looking through. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, Trey Sermon. He's probably going to be really, really, really good in this system. So good for him. If not, Major's cool. The young guys, the running back crew depth is really nice this year. So I feel pretty good about that. Uh, so if we want to talk about biggest strengths, obviously the biggest strength is we have one of the premier players in all of college football with Justin Fields. This kid is light years above most players in college football. He's got everything. I mean, coming in last year uh, to a new team, to a new school, to do what he did, he was his stats are off the chart last year as far as you know efficiency, like his yards per attempt. He had an astronomical, like, I forget what it was last year, like completions per touchdown was only like 4. It was something crazy, like like every 4 times he throws the ball, he's getting a touchdown. He's a superstar. He's a superstar, not a question mark at all. I don't even care what his personal weaknesses are. It doesn't. He's so good that I don't even have a reason to. I don't even know what I would pick if I had to pick something that people want to say decision making, but because he had one interception that that cost him dearly and the biggest game of the year. But no, the kid's tough. I think of the play for Michigan. He goes off. We're worried about him not even playing. All right, Jay Stevens in the house. Locked on Buckeyes. Thank you, Jay. That means a lot, man, to stop by and see what's up. We're just talking about Justin Fields, man. I know how much you love him. You've talked a lot about him. I pick up a lot from Jay's show. I recommend everybody listen to that, even though it's a different network, but we're all friends here. No, seriously, Jay's a great guy. Great energy on that show. Check out Locked On Buckeyes. It's a weekly or a daily show, 5 days a week, and he's great with interacting with me. Gets great guests on there, and they dig into way more than I'm going to. But yeah, Justin Fields, he's a superstar. This receiving core is awesome. Um, I mean, Olave, we know how good Olave has been good since the day he stepped foot on campus. Wilson is he's not only an athletic freak, he's a great receiver, great route runner. Brian Hartline, what he's doing up there with these guys is I don't even, it's above and beyond what we could expect out of our receivers over the years. There's young guys coming. It's just crazy. I think we're going to be good out of the slot this year. I think the tight end production can be up. I mean, I think it's really going to be it. We'll say Justin's choice of who gets the ball and when they get the ball. I don't think it's going to be out of necessity. I'm not saying they won't have a tough game, but this receiving core is athletic and just gifted across. And I mean, they go 5 wide. They legitimately have possibly 5 NFL players go 5 wide. Fantastic. Offensive line looks great. I know they had to replace a couple guys, but there's some coming back that are just super, super talented. That crew as a crew is one of this is, I think, if anything that I've noticed over, I don't know, we'll say the last 10 years of watching, Ohio State as they've grown in, somehow they went to another level of playing, is I think the offensive line as a unit play has gotten better. We were really hard on them as a fans. We know how hard we've been on. It was always funny because we would crush the offensive line all year, talk about how terrible they are. And then the 2 of them would play 10 years in the NFL. So obviously we were missing something there. I think sometimes you're too close to it, but they're that unit, super, super good. Coaching, I think, we just talk about Hartline. We talk about, Ryan Day did a fantastic job last year. Larry Johnson, what he does with the defensive line. I mean, these guys are, they're a ginormous program. The guys get paid to do a job, and, they're doing it at their best. It's awesome to see, when it pays off like that. And then when you give them the talent every year that they're getting, these top rated high school classes, it's just, the mixture is just deadly. It's fun to see. It's been a great time to watch them. Great time to watch them. So is that so? Yeah. So let's go. Let's talk about the next superstars. Um, I don't know a lot of these guys, but uh, I know, we always have freshmen coming in that light up the world. But see, this year's a little this year's a lot different. But as far as this year's way different, without the spring, these players that come in early, graduate high school early and stuff, and get there and get ahead of the game, lost some of that. So, that's a huge difference than most years at Ohio State. Those spring practices, man, coaches, those are huge. We've said that. I mean, you guys are college football fans, most of you too. You probably wouldn't be listening to this show, but if you notice, the play is not up to par and what it normally is. But they lost so many practices in the spring and summer, and the lack of contact and all that. It's a real thing. So if we're going to dig into that, I will say I'm not super glad that the Big Ten's just starting. I mean, glad they are starting, but I think it could be a bit of an advantage because they've got to really practice. I mean, think about it. When Ohio State's practicing, they're practicing against some of the best competition that they'll see all year, and they've got an extra month of that that the other teams really didn't get. I mean, that was rushed there at the end of the summer. Everybody was coming out of no contact, like literally no contact, not just football contact. Things were a little unsettled. Then they got pushed into the conference season without quote unquote warm up games, and I think we saw a little rust. I mean, I don't think anybody here thinks that LSU loses that game like they did to Mississippi State if they have 3 games to play before that. I mean, I think with the talent they have, and now I'm not saying that can't happen to these Big Ten teams. We're playing Nebraska Saturday. Their quarterback's been there for, I think Martinez is on year 7. I believe he's has a kid enrolling next year in there. No, I'm just kidding. He's been there forever. But you don't know what you're going to see because there's not those. You don't get a tiptoe into the water. You're diving in head first. I don't care what anybody thinks of Nebraska. They're a Big Ten football team. I'm sure that LSU would think the same thing about Mississippi State, and we saw what happened there. So it does worry me a little, but I do think it's an advantage to have had more time. I mean, they've literally just had more time to practice and watch and kind of pick up on things. And, these coaches are getting to watch, football is constantly a copycat league. So they're watching the best teams and they're seeing what they're doing offensively and defensively. So they've got time to implement these things if they pick up on any of this and install it before their season even starts. I mean, that's a huge advantage, when you're talking about, football teams. So sorry, I'm trying to keep up with some of the rosters and some of the comments and stuff. You guys have to bear with me. Normally there's somebody here to fill some of that void. This is actually my longest first solo show, so I appreciate everybody that's hanging on with me because I'm hanging on for dear life. I don't know how Jay does it every day. Chris LeBron, by the way, new weekly show on I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the network. It will hit me here in a second. That's not right to do. If you're going to give him a shout out, you got to give him a shout out. Cheesy Pete's. I'm a little nervous. Oh, Dash Radio. Sorry about that. Dash Network Radio. He's got a show every Monday at noon. He does a solo show. I admire anybody that can do a solo show and do all this. It's super, super cool. I'm hoping to add some highlights in and stuff over the years without getting kicked off YouTube. So we'll see how that goes. It's very possible that it won't go good. But you know me, I'll push the envelope. So I'm just looking at some of the depth chart here, so we can get into a little bit of that. Sorry. See, this is what happens when you have dead air. So anyway, yeah, we're talking about the next superstars. I don't really know who they were. I was kind of hoping. There we go. Thank you, Joseph Kenny. Way to step up. Appreciate it. Paris Johnson Jr., apparently an All-American tackle next year. Gee, Scott, Julian Fleming. Jackson. Thank you for reminding me of him. He was on my radar all week, playing the H-back, right? Yeah, thanks, Jay. Yes, that was who I was trying to think of all week. Way to step up. That's a buddy right there. Yeah, seriously, I've been thinking about him playing H-back. Young kid. I believe is he a redshirt freshman or a true freshman? I apologize. My depth chart came up. I do have two screens, but apparently they're useless because I don't have the right depth chart up. So that's on me, guys. Let me just bring one up here. I hate to pause like this. See, I'll edit this out on the audio podcast. You'll never even know I did it. Uh, oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So yeah, we got Justin Fields up there. Let's scroll down through here. I want to get to that. Yeah, here we talked about running backs. Trey Sermon, Master Teague, Marcus Crowley, Steel Chambers, Demario McCall. I mean, it's crazy. They really are loaded at running back. I think Trey Sermon's going to be really good, but even if they're all just good, that is insane. So here we got wide receivers. We talked about Chris Olave. I mean, this guy, Chris Olave's first rounder. Looks like so they're talking about Jalen Harris on the starter here, but this is older. I believe Jackson Smith. I'm going to slaughter his name. We'll say Njiba, and then I will apologize to him now and his family. I believe he's going to be the starter. I hear good things about that. Garrett Wilson. I'm telling you what, Garrett Wilson is probably going to be one of these guys that has every 5 catches is 4 touchdowns. I really think. Yeah, thank you, Joseph. I call him Joseph because I see his name up there. That's my friend Joe. Joe Kennedy. Thanks for stopping by. Yes, true freshman. Yeah, I think the kid, from what I hear, he's going to be really good. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I like that position too. They've got him at the X. The way they move these guys around anymore, the receiver titles are kind of outside of Olave, who's really a true outside guy. It just because he doesn't have to be. Really doing good. Offensive line looks great. Mumford, Miller, Myers. They say Myers interesting. Jay had a gentleman on his podcast. I wish I could remember his name. Go check it out. NFL Scout. Really high on Josh Myers. Converted tackle, kind of a unique, center type, but really high on him. He got me kind of looking at him. So at Wyatt Davis, we know, what you're getting there. So, oh yeah. I mean, just offensive line looks great. Tight end, I see a tight end. I think is going to be by committee, but and Farrell's a starter. But I think they could get. I think at any time Ohio State wants to, they can get a ton out of their tight end. They always show up. Over the years, they may have 2 or 3, but giant catches a game. There's just so much talent. I just don't think they have time for it. When you have those other guys, like why would you not throw to KJ Hill or Paris Campbell or one of these guys? So it's crazy. So that's offense. I don't have the defensive chart on here. I apologize for that. But yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Ryan Roberts. Yes, thank you, Ryan Roberts. That was the scout that Jay had on. Go check him out. I believe it's. I'll give a shout out here. Maybe Jay will put it up there for me. I'll post that. I'm sorry, I haven't been posting these. I'm struggling now. You guys get to see me growing pains a lot. There we go. That's Ryan Roberts. That's the NFL scout that Jay talked to. Really, really smart guy. Jay gets a lot out of his guest. He would have got twice as much done already than I have in 24 minutes. I promise you. There's yes, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, guys. I fell behind on my work. But yeah, ton of talent. So I think let's talk a little bit about predictions. I had a banner here for it. Here we go. So we'll talk about high state predictions, and we'll talk about. So I will confess, you guys, that start listening to this. I am not a lover of the Big Ten all around. I am not Mr. If we can't do it, I hope they do. Root for them to win because it makes us look better. Full disclosure, I am not that guy. And most of it, I won't get too in depth into this, but most of it stems from the 2010 quote unquote tattoo scandal, where, we lost Jim Tressel as a coach, and Terrell Pryor and the guys, had to, got kicked off the team, had to leave the team, whatever, because of all that. And the rest of the Big Ten fans really, really turned on us. There was not a lot of support there. And when we were down for a year, like our down year was, well, actually, I think we were 5 and 6, 6 and 7, I believe, and lost to Florida in a bowl game. That was our down year. And for us fans, that was a bad year. and they really pounced on us and really pointed fingers and really had a lot of fun with a team that had just lost their coach and were scrambling. Freshman quarterback got thrown in there. Poor Braxton Miller. Made the best of it. They got better as the year went on, and then we know that they didn't lose for 24 more months or 2 more years after that. So really left a bad taste in my mouth of how they kind of quote danced on their grave for their use of a poor term. So I'm not the biggest Big Ten fan in the world. So, but we'll go through, what we think. So we'll season predictions for Ohio State. I don't think there's anybody in the country that doesn't think that they're going to the playoffs. And I'm not gloating or whatever. That this is from ESPN to Fox to to every podcast. I think we all think that Ohio State's going. Their schedule is not super crazy. Obviously next week, at Penn State, I think Penn State's a really good team. They have been under Franklin for years. They give us fits because they do play a tough, aggressive defense against us, and they always have someone to take the top off the defense. But when it gets towards the end of the year, the two Michigan teams, and I'll say because I'm not scared. I don't know. I don't know how good they'll be then. Obviously with Michigan State with a new coach and everything, who knows? I mean, they have talented, they've knocked us off a couple times over the years. So when it gets to that point, but no, you can't pick a loss on the schedule. Let's put it that way. With Justin Fields healthy. So I think anything other than a playoff win, I won't say it's a failure by any means because I'm just glad they get a play. But I'm saying I think it'll be considered slightly underachieving. But we all know we're not going to get into. I'm with Jay here. We're not going to get into the whole the virus talk and all that. That is the effect that'll have is something that we can't see. There's no reason to talk about it or try to predict it. We know these seasons get turned upside down. We've already seen that several schools across the country postponing and canceling games. So that's a whole different animal. I'm projecting this as if everything goes right. And I don't see any way that Ohio State's not in the national championship game. As nervous as that makes me to say, and I've got so many people that are going to say that I jinxed us. So, but it is what it is, So, hold on here. I was trying to bring up the Big Ten schedule for us all, or the Big Ten standings. I'm sorry. So we'll take a look at that real quick. I'm not going to get too wrapped up in it because honestly, I don't care that much. Minnesota had a good, really nice year. I'd like to see them keep that going, if I'm being honest. I don't know. Flex kind of annoying. Can I say that out loud? He did a great job, but it wore on me. It wore on me. So I'll say it. Yeah, I did say it out loud. I said it out loud. If it starts playing music or something, you guys yell at me. I really don't even need this one turned on. So here we go. So, hey, Indiana's leading the Big Ten. So, you know what? Let me share this with you guys. You guys want to share this? Let's share it. How's that? We'll look at it together as a team. You guys have been so nice to hang with me all night. Let's check this out. So here we go. So, Indiana, I don't think we expect much out of Indiana. I don't think we expect much out of Maryland. Michigan State, unranked, but the rankings really don't mean much. We talked about them with the new coach. They've got the Wolverines at 18. I guess. I know their quarterback. Somebody correct me. I don't think their quarterback opted back in. I believe their McCaffrey still left. That's a tough. Nobody likes to replace a quarterback, and so yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. We get this is outside of Ohio State, obviously. You got the Ohio State Buckeyes there. I think we're pretty sure that they're going to be fine. Penn State and Nittany Lions, ranked 8th. You know what? From what I've seen this year, I mean, what I've seen from Florida and LSU, Georgia's really good. I think Georgia is better than Penn State, but Penn State could be that high. Now that next week's game's huge, isn't it? Now that we think about that Halloween game over at Happy Valley is huge. All of a sudden, the night game, it's obviously different without all those. I don't want to say anything derogatory, but not a huge fan of the whole whiteout thing. But whatever, that's their thing, not mine. Yeah, they could be really good. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Penn State's fun. By the way, Jeff Needs Sports, I'll start putting out my college rankings every week after I wanted to wait for the Big Ten to start. I didn't see any sense in doing it before that. So I'll start putting out the rankings every week. I really appreciate. I like the feedback. Like you guys check them out. The NFL rankings kind of caught on fire today, but it was fun. I love interacting, with people that are kind enough to read my work and give me feedback on it. I don't care if it's negative or positive. It's people take their time out. There's a lot of content out there, so I appreciate it. College rankings will be coming out every week. I'll try to release them about the same time as I do this show, or maybe announce some on the show. So anyway, yeah. Penn State fine. Rutgers, I assume same old Rutgers. I will promise you that I did not investigate the Big Ten, A, because I didn't think they were going to play, and B, because that's just not me. And we got enough going on with the network. I do not have a whole lot of time to go to do the Rutgers all 22. So I apologize to anybody that loves Rutgers. You're welcome to come on the shows. Hey, what's up, Nate? It's good to see you. Yes, go Bucks. You know what? This week, I think we can get behind this. We can get behind this. Ah, look at that. Nate and his young in there. Great looking family. It's good to see Nate. Miss you, man. So we're talking about season predictions, Nate. So then when you go down to the I don't know what they call it now. I think it's the West. I'm not even sure. Illinois, Iowa. Once again, people are kind of up on Iowa. They'll. What do we make of Iowa? I mean, every year they're going to look great. They're going to still lose 4 games. They're going to knock somebody off who doesn't want to be beat or shouldn't be beat. Their coach is Ferentz is never leaving. What a unique team that has been for so long. And I don't blame people, man. I could, you know what I mean? Like they're consistent. They haven't been really bad in a long time. So whatever, man. Iowa's going to be Iowa. Minnesota Gophers 21. I'm curious to see what they look like again. They get quarterback coming back. I love the kid last year. Loved the way he played. I think a lot of theirs is going to depend on matchups and timing and all that. But I think I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be good. It's hard when you lose when a team that doesn't have the recruiting classes like an Ohio State or like a Michigan or a Wisconsin. They don't really reload, so that's tough when they lose guys like Winfield Jr. and stuff on defense. But I'm not questioning it, and I can't wait to watch him play. I will be watching him and commenting on him, but this is not going to be a Big Ten show. This is a Buckeye show. So Nebraska, we'll find out this weekend. They can't. I mean, their quarterback is a real veteran, a rare, I think, a 4-year starter in Division I college football. They've got to have some talent. Frost is a pretty good coach. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they got to be all right. We'll see. We'll see, man. They may shock. This would be one. They always say shock the world. This one would shock the world. We don't want to put any bad vibes out there. This one will shock the world. Northwestern. Who knows? Who knows what kind of team? They weren't super big on playing. I don't know. I think Fitzgerald's magic, I won't say it's worn off. I mean, they do with what they can, but they're a non-factor to me. I don't really have time. Purdue, I still have not forgiven them for a couple years ago over West Lafayette. So if they could lose every game, that's fine. Whatever. Not a huge Purdue fan. No offense to my the guy that pays my bills, but that's neither here nor there. Great engineering school, though. Won't take that away from Wisconsin Badgers. Okay, we all know what we're getting, right? They're going to have a really good running back, a really good offensive line. They're going to have some really tough defenders. They'll probably have one receiver. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. They'll probably have one receiver that's really good. Like they always do. That for some reason, gives us fits. I don't. What I even looked at. I don't believe we play Wisconsin this year. If I'm correct, I'm sure we don't. We can look. Well, you know what? We'll go into high state schedule here in just a minute before we get out of here. Appreciate it. Once again, I appreciate everybody that's watching. Really good viewers tonight. I hope that. Please, any feedback. Oh, here we go. I'm going to put this up there. This is my man, Travis. Really helps out with the show all the time. I appreciate you being on, man. I hope you'll participate, with me all year on this, and we can get you on. Let's get Travis on Buckeye Remix. I like it. I like his thought process, and I there is no way you can argue with that. Travis, I was probably too easy when I said that they should go to that game. I have no reason. I will say though, like I don't want to say I don't want to say that word quite yet, but there's a team in South Carolina that's really good. But I'm not, that's all I'm saying is they're just really good. And there's a team in Alabama that's pretty good. So, yeah, man, thanks for being here, Travis. Miss you, man. Well, I'm going to get you on the show. I'm going to get Travis on the show. So, yeah, just I was getting back to it. Everybody that's watching, any feedback you have, even if it's just about the show, the way it looks, anything like that, it all helps. We're all new to this, the live stuff. I've only been doing it for about 6 months now. Every day it evolves and it changes. We started the network, so I started writing and stuff too. So I get a lot going on. It's all awesome. But, any constructive criticism or help along the way or whatever, if you just want to tell me to go, F myself, that's cool too. So yeah, Wisconsin. Well, like we said, they're going to have the same quarterback. Doesn't matter what his name is. I believe that they got a recruit. I don't know if he's there now. I know they got like their highest rated recruit quarterback ever. I think that's next year, though. I don't think he's there right now, but I could be wrong. But they'll be tough. They'll give somebody fits, and but I don't know. I think the Big Ten is the strength is in numbers. I don't know how great they are. I don't know how top heavy they are this year, like they have been before. So kind of comes and goes. But once again, Ohio State's without a doubt the class of the Big Ten. So yeah, you know what? Let's go. We'll look at the Ohio State schedule real quick, then I'll get out of here. Let's click on the Ohio State Buckeyes here. Hopefully, in the coming weeks, I'll have some highlights for you. I'll play some music for you. I'm going to make up some mixes. Kind of scrambling tonight. I'm worried about my man Mo. I hope everything's going well with him. But that's all. That's all I can do is hope. But I'm sure it's fine. I'll get home later. So that's all. I'll go check on well. So here we go. Let's look at the schedule real quick, and then we'll get out of here, guys. That's not the best one. I should have brought up the graphics. I'm kind of known as the graphics guy. I'm a little disappointed in myself, but there we go. So you got Nebraska at noon this Saturday. Can't wait. Love noon games. They'd all be noon games. It's just gonna be the greatest. So I'm so excited. That's gonna be the most energy that I've ever experienced without fans in the stands. It's gonna be crazy. So looking forward to that. And then the big one. I mean, this is one of the biggest games of the year in college football, right there. Penn State, Ohio State, biggest game, one of the biggest games of the year, for sure. Let me see if I can blow this up a little, guys. Now you're just helping me work on technical stuff. I apologize. Let's see if we can blow this up. Nope. Too much. That's a little better. So anyway, there you go. You got, oh, geez. I'm sorry. I'm messing with you now. So that was embarrassing. Never happened to me before. That was horrible. I apologize. I promise that's never happened before. That's right. I hit the. Okay, so I'm just going to act like that didn't happen. If you're listening to this on the audio, I won't even cut this out. What I accidentally did was killed my own feed. That they kept going. I left my own show as a solo show. What? Oh man! If you can see, my face is as red as the Ohio State flag behind me right now. Anyway, you guys don't need me to apologize. It's just talking football. So anyway, we looked at schedule. It's not super atrocious. Ohio State should win every game. Maybe going away. I don't think it matters what they look like this year. I think it's already determined that if they went out, much like Clemson last year, If you guys remember how Clemson, we, drove them in the ground every week after, game after game for subpar games. And it didn't matter. As long as they kept winning, they were going to the playoffs. High State's in the same position. High State, I don't think I don't think most teams have a game to lose because of a short schedule, but Ohio State just has the benefit of the doubt this year. They're going to be great. No doubt about it. Let's get rid of this. So, yeah, that's it. All right, guys. I appreciate everybody that stuck with me tonight. This wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be because you guys participated. It means a ton. A comment here and there. Joe, Travis, Nate, Steven, Austin. I hope I covered that, Austin. I'm sorry. Austin's he does a show with Steven. I hope we cover. We think it's really, really, really good to make the college football championship, almost a must. So I apologize. So anyway, everybody comments that it helps out a ton. Once again, all the feedback. I'm doing this every week. I'm hoping for Sunday mornings, if not, early Sunday afternoon, while it's all fresh in our mind. We'll recap the game. You guys can tell me your favorite parts. We can talk about it. Maybe watch a highlight or two and have some fun and just enjoy the fact that we got a High State football. If nothing else, let's enjoy the fact that we got a High State football that at one point not that long ago we thought was we thought was never going to happen. So that's it. I'm Jeff from Jeff Needs Sports, Off the Ball Network. Please go check out all the guys' work on the network. If you got a minute, it's new. We're up and coming, but we really are putting a professional effort in. The guys are super, super smart that are on there. So, give them a chance, listen to their podcast, check out our live feeds. I'm not begging. I highly recommend it. We love interacting with the fans. That's our thing. You guys are welcome on the shows. I mean, I'll turn this show over. I'll let you can come on the show and tell me I'm an idiot or how smart I am. It's probably going to be how smart I am just because, that's mostly what happens to me. But yeah, we love interacting with you guys. Thanks for being on. And be kind to each other. And it's game week. Go Bucks. It's here. It's real. Hang on, Sloopy, the whole deal. We are ready to go. So have a good week, everybody, and we will talk to you next Sunday. Thanks so much.